The world watched the Washington Commanders go from an irrelevant team to a relevant team. Now they get Deebo Samuel for a fifth round pick. All I gotta say is good luck for the rest of the NFC because these guys were one win away from the Super Bowl. And now they get one of the better receivers in the NFL. Deebo Samuel is a wide receiver while you can move all over the field. You can even put him in the backfield, run some trick plays. Cliff Kingsbury is going to have fun with this guy, man. Like, he's going to bring toughness, leadership to that wide receiver core. Now at wide receiver, you got Scary Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, Brown, and Luke McCaffrey. Luke McCaffrey and Brown, both of them guys are going to be mentored by McLaurin and Deebo Samuel. If them two guys could take the next step, that's probably the best full wide receiver set in football. Not to mention you still have Zach Ertz. I think they need to draft a tight end to start grooming at the tight end position. They need to draft at least two offensive linemen to plug in. If they're not day one starters, they're guys that could step right in if someone gets hurt. The Washington Commanders have $100 million to play with in this offseason. I expect them to be very active. This move here, though, will take the Commanders over the top. If you watch them in the playoffs, their secondary was suspect. They need to go out and sign Big Game Slay. He was released by the Philadelphia Eagles. He's a veteran cornerback that can help out that secondary. Him, Marshawn Lattimore, and the rest of them guys would be beautiful together back there, but they still need to draft another corner. You need 5 legit corners in the NFL to succeed because if one of them go down, injuries are part of the game. If one of them go down, you must still have 4 legit corners. 3 corners is not going to get it done in today's NFL. You know, and when you look at their linebacking core, you got Bobby Wagner, Latufu, and the rest of them guys. I think they need to go grab 2 more linebackers too. You know, linebackers who you can rotate in. You know, because Bobby Wagner's up there in age. You need to start bringing in some young players. You know, I don't think Bobby Wagner should be asked to play the whole game anymore. You know, rotate him in, play him in situations. But this is where they really could go get a Super Bowl championship. They need to draft at least 3 defensive linemen. And I'm not kidding. They need 3. And when I say 3, 2 of them should be able to start right away while the other one is sitting back in case someone gets hurt. The Washington Commanders going to whoop a lot of teams this upcoming season. I'm hearing a lot of folks talking about Deebo Samuel's not good. That's why the 49ers let him go. That's nonsense. His time just was up with the 49ers. It's good to get a fresh start, and that's what he getting. Jaden Daniels is going to love that guy. Not only that, Deebo Samuel is a good blocker. So that's going to help out Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler too when they're running that ball. I can't wait to see what this season brings for the Washington Commanders because right now on paper, they're Super Bowl favorites. Yes, sir. I know the Eagles just won a championship, but by them letting Big Game Slay go, that's a huge hit in their secondary. And I'm not too sure the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be motivated like they were motivated this year. You know, the defense still going to be elite. Will Saquon Barkley still be hungry like that? Will Jalen Hurts still be clutch when it's time? And the Eagles are not a young team. You know, they're up there in age. So I could see the Washington Commanders taking them out. The Commanders was in the game with them before they blew them out. It's not like they really washed them like that. They were in the game for a while. You know what I'm saying? It just was the Eagles' year. But man, the Commanders that positioned themselves to be a top 3 team in the NFC going into the season. They are legit. They need to spend that money. In order to be great, you must spend money, and they got it. They should not hold back. I'm not saying they should overpay for guys, but they need to spend that money to strengthen their players in the trenches. When you look at the Eagles, they won because they dominated in the trenches. In the offensive line and in the defensive line, they dominated there. They must have that part of their team as a strength. When you look at the Commanders, that was one of their weaknesses. Imagine if they can strengthen them 2 positions up. With a guy like Jaden Daniels, who got a lot of experience under his belt now, a guy that know he was 1 game away from the Super Bowl, a guy that know he got the city behind him, I wouldn't want to face that guy, man. For real. There's a lot of players who done hit the free agency market too. Man, they need to spend that money, man. Or if you look at the Washington Commanders, they could go out and get Chris Godwin from the Buccaneers. That would be beautiful. You could probably take Luke McCaffrey and use him as like a kickoff man or something, and put Chris Godwin in there with Brown, Deebo Samuel, and Terry McLaurin. Who's stopping that offense? Someone going to get open every play. Chris Godwin been one of the faster receivers ever since he came into the league. We know McLaurin fast. And you got Deebo, a tough wide receiver who could move the chains to go with Brown. We seen what Brown was about this year. Washington Commanders going to shock a lot of teams, man, if they could go spend that money where they need to spend it at. When you look at the Commanders' offense, they like to run that RPO. That RPO game with McLaurin and Deebo Samuel is going to be elite. It's going to be elite. You don't know who they're going to call the RPO for. Have fun trying to stop them guys, man. I'm talking about Terry McLaurin. He going to take 2 cornerbacks with him every time. Deebo Samuel going to have one-on-one coverage to eat that field up. Deebo Samuel never really had the chance to have one-on-one coverage because he never had a wide receiver on the side of him that could command double teams. He got it now. That boy about to flourish across that, man. And he's going to come into this season motivated. The 49ers gave him away for a bag of chips and a Cokes. That was very disrespectful in my opinion. Getting Deebo Samuel was an excellent move by Cliff Kingsbury and Dan Quinn. Now it's time to put everything together. Yeah, it could look good on paper, but you got to play together and execute. This Sports Savvy TV, y'all let me know what y'all think of this move by the Commanders getting Deebo Samuel. And what other moves can you see them doing in the offseason so they could take the next step and try to get a Super Bowl championship? I see y'all on the next one.